Hey there, everybody. Welcome to Successful but Single Podcast, where we're doing our thing without a ring. We're so happy to have you here to our new season. We have gone from changing it up a little bit. So, not only are we going to be showcasing significant lives of unmarried folk, we are going to be talking about their businesses, how they scale them, not to just be successful, but also to be significant. We're going to talk a little bit about what that means and how they've done it. So today we have as our guest a dear friend of mine. So thank you so much for agreeing to be on the show. She is Dawn Boyd, CEO of Aroma Earth Cleaning. It's a plant-based, woman-owned business that she has scaled significantly in the Tampa Bay area. So hey, Dawn. Hi. How are you? Thank you for being my guest. I do appreciate it. Not just because you're my friend, but I have always admired you. Literally, when I saw you as a guest speaker at Sabrina Protix, customer appreciation event, at that moment, I knew that there was something special about you. Can you tell us a little bit about what makes you unique?
Thank you for having me. I appreciate that. It's a pleasure to be a part of this. But there's different things that make me unique, but one being a transplant from Detroit, Michigan is my biggest accomplishment, starting a business from scratch, not knowing a soul, and eventually building my clientele from one all the way up to about 300. Mm-hmm. So that is the anomaly of moving to a new city and starting from scratch. So
take courage, y'all, to start any business, but not to know anyone and scale. Don, again, that's so amazing about you. I love that she's her own woman, though, y'all, and is very personable, yet she has her unique standards about her. Again, I think that kind of spills over into your business because it's very niche. Yeah. Yes. Can you tell us what gave you the aha moment to start a plant-based, eco-friendly cleaning service?
We have a promotional video that's out under Aroma Earth Cleaning. The main premises of me even starting a cleaning business with a manufacturing degree is my discipline from going to school. But to start the cleaning business end of it, the main reason was because of my son. Mm-hmm. So at the time, my son was 7. He's now in his second year of college. And during those early formative years, I was working so much in corporate America that everyone else was raising my son except me. And because of that, I knew that I didn't want to stay in that industry. Mm-hmm. And at the time, they were moving out of the country anyway, so it wasn't an option for me. So I had to make some decisions. And I had 2 choices. I wanted to start a grocery delivery service, and we're talking over 10 years now. But I wanted to start a grocery delivery service before all these companies had come up with what we know as being normal. And when I found out how much a app cost at that time, it was just too much. It was out of my price range. I used my severance package to even start working for myself. Mm-hmm. But in the process, I really decided that this was either going to go there or cleaning houses. Mm-hmm. So with cleaning houses, I started 1 house, 2 houses, built my clientele, but doing it the conventional way. Yeah. So using Babeloso, which I started picking up from other people in the industry. That's what you use. It smells good. All these things. And then
it's also very popular in the Tampa market. We love Fabuloso and a Mr. Lane. Yeah, go ahead.
Bleach, all these things. Yeah.
So, Florida, don't
play. They don't have bleach.
See, you already know. That's how we feel in Florida.
Within a short period of time, by me cleaning by myself, house after house, outside of my own house environment, I started getting sick pretty rapidly. Mm-hmm. So once I realized that all these products that are out there are very toxic, so that caused me to not only change my name, which originally was from Your Cleaning Lady, to Dust Be Gone by Dawn, and then now the current name Aroma Earth Cleaning, which we've just done a new anniversary logo that we changed for acknowledge our 10 years. So once I started really consciously making the effort to look into plant-based cleaning products. At that time, I was also vegan, so it was something that was a personal mission for myself. Mm-hmm. And then also having a cleaning purpose for women with cancer was one of our priority things because my mother died of cancer. So all these things kind of tied in together.
Yes.
And when I started using essential oils, non-toxic cleaning products, not only was it better for the client experience, but it was good for us who were cleaning because at that point I had started building so many clients that I needed to hire. And at that, moving forward, that has always been what we do, and we don't sway from that. If I hire somebody who's used to conventional cleaning products, I make sure they understand.
Yes.
We only use non-toxic essential oils, plant-based cleaning.
I love that. So first of all, congratulations on 10 years in business, right? Because we know some of the yes, it goes by quick, but a lot of companies exit, more than 50% exit within the first year, and certainly by year 3 or 4, 70% of those who have started exit. So congratulations on your longevity.
And in Florida, you got hurricanes and all kinds of other things, natural disasters.
So those are what we call the 5Gs. Y'all report in another show that can disrupt or interrupt or even cause a business to fold. So congratulations on 10 years. And congratulations on coming up with a niche. Because a lot of people, they either start business and think that we're for all, but we're not. And so that helps you know how to market your business, y'all, when you understand who are the clients you serve. But then what I love about what you've done, you've created a niche based on your own values.
Yes.
A lot of times we're like, what do the people want? But we, as business owners, cannot forget that this is about what we value as well. So it's not really what's going to make you money. I mean, of course, money is helpful in all things, right? It does by happiness, but what Mary Kay used to say, it does by choices. However, we have to fold our personal values into everything we do. Thus, I think also being able to have longevity in a business and not burning out, which is key to that one. So it's important, business owners, that you incorporate your values into your value proposition, right? Not just what the client wants, but what you want as well. And to help service your family.
Yes.
Because you were the primary breadwinner, you were the primary caretaker for your son. Yes. And so you had to pivot and think of something, phenomenal. So as you were scaling your business, y'all, because of course, 10 years, she went from 1 to over 300 clients, right? What do you feel were some of the systems that were non-negotiable for you in order to scale? This is what we need to have in place in order to begin to take my hands off and not be, Dollar cannot be in 300 homes, right? So what were some of the systems that you felt were necessary for scaling?
I think the biggest system is hiring the right people, because without my team, I can't do it. Like you said, I'm not in the houses cleaning like that, so I can't do that. But hiring the best talent, and that's very important. Nowadays, the whole relationship with employer-employee has been diminished from the generation that I'm used to. It seems that people don't care anymore where they work. They're just there for a job. They're quiet quitting, showing up, punching in, getting a paycheck, but not putting in that effort. So because of the type of industry we're in, I have people who work with me who are in the houses, communicating with each individual client, building a relationship. And then on top of that, I make sure the clients look at them as a human being, a mother, a single mom, someone who just relocated here, all these things. And that's personal experience. So they're not looking at them as someone who, oh, well, if they don't work out, I'll just hire another cleaning company. It's very personal. It's from all different aspects of it, but especially when it comes to acknowledging the fact that we depend on our clients for our own financial responsibilities. And I put that with every client and every person who helps me, and they're in the houses and they're doing the work. But without them, I don't have that. And then really streamlining things from different systems online. There is no writing down things on a piece of paper. Like, everything is computerized. I have a virtual assistant. I have people that, help me from the computer aspect of it. And everything is already written out. People know their schedules months in advance. It's very consistent. It is something that most people that want the service, they've already incorporated that into their budget, monthly budget. So that's what they have. And as long as they keep us, because we do offer such a niche that a lot of companies will say they start that way, and then they don't follow up with that. But that's not even in our product line to have anything else.
You all have heard me say, we're not just talking about successful companies, we're talking about significant companies. What you'll find is significant, when I say significant companies, it means not only are they scalable and they are doing well financially, they are attractive to the what we call the private equity market. Attractive meaning people want to either buy your business or people see the accumulation of the value in your business over time. So one thing that people don't talk about a lot is how to become significant. And so I hope on this podcast, y'all are going to take notes so that you can get these little tidbits of information. I'm going to give it to you free. However, as of consultant to entrepreneurs, I will have my tagline available and my consult rates available so that you can learn how to do this. We always tell people what to do, but we don't always tell them how to do it. So one of the things that we have to build a significant business is what we call the 4 C's, because we can see on a balance sheet everything, how many assets we have, right? Yeah. How much debt we have as a company. But y'all, it's really the intangible assets that are you're not going to see on a balance sheet or on profit loss statement that really help to build a business. And Dawn talked about all of them, honestly, in her response. So the 4 C's, y'all, I'll give you 2 of them, and then you have to come to the next episode for the next 2. But the 4 C's, y'all, are structural capital. That's your systems, your technology. It's your client capital, which are the people. She taught them how to treat her team. Yeah. That is the 3rd C, which is your team, your human capital. And then the 4th one, I'll leave it as a cliffhanger for you to come back to the next episode. You really gave great examples of how you treat your team, how your clients should treat your team, how you all as a team treat your clients, and then the proficiency of your technological systems. Yeah. So y'all, that is really what builds. And again, Freedom Consulting can show you how to build those intangible assets. So Donna, you've been in the game. You are not a novice in the game. You have dug it out. You have weathered the storm for 10 years. You know, you've survived some of the 5 Ds. Y'all come back. That is another episode, the 5 Ds that will destroy your business. Divorce, disagreement, natural disaster. Those 3 of them, you got to come back for the next 2. So you survived all that within the 10 years. But what happens with most entrepreneurs is that we use a business for a paycheck. But we do not learn how to use the accumulated value in your company. One, because you don't know how to value it. We don't harvest the value out of the company when we exit. A lot of people just retire. So Dawn, tell me, what is your exit strategy for your business?
Well, one thing I want to kind of step back on is the fact that in 2020, the cleaning industry was considered an essential service. So during COVID, there were a lot of companies that could not be in business because they were not considered essential. Cleaning industry is one of those. So I always tell people there's enough love to go around. This is not an industry that is easily replaceable, especially now that we've got the AI boom, and you would think, okay, a robot and whatnot. I watched a video where there was a robot that took 20 minutes to take a glass and put it inside the washing machine. So I said, you know what? I have job security.
Not efficient, right?
No, and not at all. So this is a kind of business that will continue for a very long time, at least in my lifetime. So, right. With that said, then when it comes to my exit strategy, I played around with different ideas, from franchising to even making products and selling that, and then letting go of the cleaning business itself, but just residual income from products. So I've thought about different ideals, but at this point, I do believe I have enough in me to continue to go at least for the next 10, 15 years as the owner, but still kind of softly controlling the business while I let the people who I hire do most of the actual groundwork, while I just kind of be the executive on this end and kind of still be there without stepping completely out. So I never really thought about an actual exit strategy, since I'm not going to do a franchise anymore. But I have a son, possibility of legacy, or even with my employees, giving it to the strongest person that's been with me the longest, who wants to take that on. But I'm a firm advocate. I can't take anything with me when I leave. So money is not the motivating factor. There's nothing wrong with money. We need it. My business has helped me travel the world and also take my son with me. So that's something where I don't know if I would have had that same opportunity in corporate America, because you're working for someone else and making them rich. So that time freedom and being able to have the ability to go when you want to go in places. We're going to Japan next month. So being able to do that is really important. So I'm going to stay in it as long as I can. Mm-hmm. And then my dear friend, Natalie, will help me with an exit strategy.
I love that. I love that because, again, y'all, a lot of people do not start with the end in mind. They do not start thinking about how I'm going to exit. People feel that as entrepreneurs, I just have to work forever. Yeah. You know, Dawn made a good point one day when we were talking online, and she's like, well, Walmart's not exiting. Why should I? No. You know, however, as entrepreneurs, exit just doesn't mean quit. It doesn't mean I cannot fulfill my life purpose to do my life work, but it does mean come step away so that you don't have to do the day to day and have stored aside significant wealth. So that is a great transition place for us, Don. And so we're going to end with some tips on how to successfully exit and then conclude our broadcast for today. Hey y'all, we are back with Successful But Single Podcast, doing our thing without a ring, where we are talking to successful single business owners who have built not only strong companies, but significant companies. Significant companies meaning companies that have been scaled, where they are attractive to outsiders, right? They think that you're doing something and want to emulate not only what you've done, but also may consider wanting to buy you out because you've done so well. So Dawn, as many other entrepreneurs say, hey, I started this business. It's my baby. It's my puppy. Why do I need to exit? I can just work this right for the rest of my life. Mm-hmm. You can, but what happens, y'all? One of those 5Ds that we're going to talk about in another episode is, what if death happens? Mm-hmm. Or what if you get hurt on the job? Mm-hmm. We want to start, again, harvesting the wealth out of the business so that you can choose when you exit, and how you can choose how I can exit. Mm-hmm. There, y'all, many ways to exit. People think, okay, I'll just close the doors. 80% of businesses, y'all, don't exit the business. They just say, hey, I'm done, I'll close the door, or they work it till they die. Mm-hmm. What if I can show you, business owners, entrepreneurs, executives, how to be harvesting money periodically from the business, one, so that your personal wealth and your personal net worth is built, and then you get to decide how you want to exit the business. Mm-hmm. There are several ways you can exit a business. You can simply retire, close the door, shut it down. But are you harvesting the wealth that you have built with your blood, sweat, equity, and your buyout from the corporate? Right? A lot of people have buyouts from corporate. That's how they start the business. A lot of people harvest the money out their 401ks coming out of corporate America, and they never put it back, y'all. Why? Why do that? You have built a long, strong business. So there are several ways. You can franchise. Yeah. And then turn it over, sell it to the franchise. You can be acquired, right? Again, because if you're building a successful business and you are accumulating value, somebody's going to want to take over that business for you, y'all. You can sell it to a family member. She said, hey, I do have a son. Maybe he would want to run the business. Y'all, guess what? Most of your children don't want your business. They do want your money. They do want the legacy, which is why we need to be planning. You can put something aside for them, and that they'll still inherit the wealth of the business without having to run the business. Let's talk about that, okay? Or you can sell your business to your team members. They can do a buyout, a management buyout. And so, y'all, if you want a little more information, I encourage you to call Freedom Financial Consulting. Yes, that is my consulting practice. I can show you how to navigate that and have a strategy so that when you exit the business, if you choose not to want to run it anymore, or you don't want to be a part of the day-to-day, we will help you create a life plan that you'll still feel that your life has purpose. Now, because entrepreneurs are different than most people, right? We're driven. We're driven. We always thinking 5 steps ahead. We want to leverage the success of the business to do things like travel around the world. We are risk takers. And so a lot of times when people exit the business, they sell the business, y'all, a year later, it's a proven statistic, a year later they have regretted the decision to exit. At Freedom Financial Consulting, we help you come up not just with an exit strategy for your business, but a life plan for the executive, the entrepreneurs, and their families, so that they can still feel like their life is worth living after building and exiting a strong and successful business, okay? Yes. So, Dawn, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for coming on. Dawn Boy of Aroma Earth Cleaning, based in Tampa, Florida. happy 10 years again. And as we depart from the people, just till next time, Don, what tip would you give a business owner who has built their business already to $1 million, $2 million in gross sales? What advice would you give them in able to continue to run a successful company without it depending on them as the owner?
Yeah.
On a day-to-day basis.
Outside of Natalie's podcast, I listen to an abundant amount of growth podcasts for businesses, small businesses, large and small. And kind of to backtrack a little bit on what she said about your family and things like that, I just recently listened to, I think it was the owner of Lyft. It was owner of Lyft. And they were young when they started Lyft, which is around the same time when I started my business. And they have exited from the company and now they have other people running it for them. But one things they said was that they kind of lost their purpose because when every day I'm busy, every day is a different day for me. I'm talking to different people all the time, every single day. Like it's never a same day, which gives me purpose, especially in this chapter of my life with my son being in college now. I'm not sitting in the car line. So automated systems are very important. Being able to I remember when I was in the workforce and I would apply for a job, and one of the things that I would tell them, which seemed to be a safe answer of what your shortcomings are, not being able to delegate.
Right.
So you would think that's a safe answer because it makes it seem like, oh, I do all the work and I take all the everything and I do it all. So that kind of like it's negative but positive kind of thing. So for me to say, how you can do it without being in it is automating, having someone else, letting it go, giving someone else the responsibility. The thing is with me and my business, because of how long I've been in business, I have my day one clients who have been with us through it all, have seen it ups and downs. They've been faithful. They're loyal to us. Those clients help us keep going because they understand when I hire someone new and they're not doing the same kind of job or whatever, these little hiccups that go through it helps us to continue to move forward. We're still getting income, but it's allowing me to step away and someone else come in. So that's a big, to me, at the end of the day, even if I don't completely exit, having someone else do it. I'm in my 50s. There's no way I can go and clean a 5,000 square foot house.
That's right. And those are things, y'all, that we have to think about on a daily basis. So, y'all, she didn't give you one tip. She gave you two. Systems, technology, and building a strong, loyal client base that will keep coming back and that appreciate your niche or your business model. So, again, y'all, we talk about how to do it. If you need to know the why and how it can get done, call us. Our information will be in the show notes, especially if you're in the Tampa area, to support plant-based cleaning. If that's your thing, we'll have that in the show notes. But also, if you want to know the how am I going to build my 4 intangibles, or how can I risk-proof my business against disease or disaster, which can literally, y'all, annihilate a business, remember to contact Freedom Financial Consulting, and we will help you get through the how. It's not just knowing what to do, it's putting a plan in place to give you the how to. Okay, y'all, and so until next time, join us when we will be talking to another successful single professional who has not just created a cool business, a business that's making money, but significant, attractive to be able not to just have time freedom, but will be able to exit on their terms. Until next time, successful but single, doing our thing without a ring. Catch you next time.